I moved to Rovaniemi 6 years ago. The University of Lapland brought me here, and I knew I would have to stay for a long time. Back then, I had just discovered my new passion that literally changed my life: trail running. I can say that long day runs in nature gave me a new life. The mild winters and long summers in my home country of Bulgaria are offering their hospitality to the endurance athletes all year round. But when I was to face the first winter in the Arctic, I was devastated. Rovaniemi was dark, cold and frozen. How was I supposed to run here? I always associated the summer with outdoor and the winter with indoor activities. This seemed logical in a place where the winter lasts no longer than 2 months. But in Lapland, the winter can easily outlast 7 months. I observed the locals. They didn't seem to freak out when the muddy dark November came. Life didn't change much even during the polar night, when we had only 3 hours of something like locals call daylight. But my biggest shock came when I saw people running on -30 in the coldest month of January. After long observations, I realized that no one died while running on -30 in the dark. Weird place, I thought. However, the 2 month of no sunshine period hit me badly. I was always feeling demotivated, with no other desire but to read a book on the couch. Every attempt to go for a run was followed by hours of convincing myself to get out the door.
I think you should go for a run. Man, it's so cold outside. Just dress accordingly and go for a run.
But I ran yesterday.
Yes, for 5 kilometers only. Man, today is another day. You're not going anywhere by running 2 times a week.
I know, but it is this time of the year when I feel like a crap. I cannot get myself do anything.
Yes, and by becoming a couch potato, it only gets worse. You know that.
I think my body is sending me signals and I should listen to it. My body needs a rest.
You know what? I give up on you, because we both know that you're just lazy.
Go away, I'm not lazy. It is the polar night, think.
It was never easy. I would wait for some daylight so I could feel a bit more awake, but by the time I get out, it's already dark. But I noticed that for me the hard part is to get out the door. When I started running, I always felt good. I've never ever in my life had regrets of getting out for a run. But the problem is that feeling comes either during the running or after it.
Hello honey, I'm back from work. How was your day? It was a really good run. I think 22 kilometers exactly. I just could feel running forever, and it's very strange because I only had breakfast 10 a.m. and now what's the time? It's 4 or 5 p.m. 4:30. It's been the whole day without food except the breakfast, and I feel hungry. I feel very, very, very hungry, but I feel strong. I could run longer.
My runs are always followed by a banana avocado smoothie with some superfoods and a colorful vegetable dinner. I was curious to see how I would feel living in the north and being on plant-based diet. I would eat fish on average twice a month and meat on average twice a year. Long ago, I removed completely the white sugar and the dairy products from the table. For now, I feel stronger and healthier than ever before. I only make sure to have many colors on the table. noticed that I feel better if I warm up properly before the run. But don't worry, Rovaniemi offers daily opportunities for that. Until the age of 29, I was an indoor unhealthy person. I was feeling weak and old. Back then, I realized that the rest of my life will not be better than the past. I was scared. I was getting sick often and I couldn't run even 2 kilometers. Now I think I was probably hit by the mid-age crisis.
Today is 7th of January.
I also felt that I did not only lose the connection with the nature, I never had it. I remember that at that moment I was not afraid to die. I was afraid that I would never live.
Running in cold, what you should be more aware of is not your interiors but your exteriors, which means that you have to have every piece of skin covered. I have this polyamide fleece and these tights as a base. I use these sport polyester materials, but often I use wool, merino wool. I think as long as it's not cotton, sport clothing will do. I have already one tiny scarf here, and then I'm gonna need another one on top. I'm gonna need another pair of trousers. These are very skinny, windproof material. I'm not gonna have anything waterproof on me because it just doesn't make sense. Waterproof materials are usually less breathable. This is a merino wool hat. And then I'm gonna take this jacket. It's not very thick, it's very breathable material. I think this is more than enough, and if I keep a good pace, I believe I'm gonna even overheat. The gloves I'm gonna go for, I think they're also a bit too much for this kind of weather. They're down gloves. Mittens. I like mittens because when your fingers are together, and then they're always warmer. So beautiful! It is so beautiful. It feels like out of this planet. Today is about minus 35. I felt a bit cold down the feet, my toes. Other than that it was okay. But it's dangerous because I lost the sensation of my few of my toes, so I didn't want to risk and stay any longer. So it's a short run, maybe 30 minutes, but a refreshing one. Alright, it was a good training, and where's my phone? Now it's time for a sauna. Yeah, I really want to go home. It was a short run. Oh, that was so refreshing.
Now it breaks my heart to see so many kids in Finland walking with a can of energy drink in their hand. The energy drinks should be banned by the law.
I don't take as granted my ability to run long in the coldness. I'm very thankful and grateful for being healthy enough to do that. Of course, I worked hard for this. It wasn't given to me as a gift. Just 6 years ago I couldn't run even 2 kilometers. I started running late in my life, and now just 6 years later, running for me is so effortless. It feels like flying, and I wish everyone could experience this. The weather should not prevent you from running. This is why I wanted to find a solution how to run on a daily basis in the cold Arctic, because if I stop moving, this means I'll have to go back to my previous life, which I didn't like, and there is no way I would go back to that. I just want to keep moving. It makes me feel so alive, so healthy, so strong. There is no pill ever invented. There's no food supplement invented that can substitute sport. Sometimes it's a bit confusing because the exact temperature as a number doesn't have anything to do with how you feel this temperature. Right now, as I said, it's minus 25, but it feels like minus 10. Sometimes it's minus 10 and it feels like minus 30. That's why you have these two kind of scales of measurement of what it is as a temperature and what does it feel like. I don't know how accurate is this, but I know if there is a humidity in the air, then it feels much colder. I'm of course properly dressed, as I showed you. So about the dressing, I can also share my experience. It is that if I head for a run and very quickly in the run I realized that I haven't dressed myself accordingly, then I am going for a short run and then I head back. Because if I go too far away from home and in the beginning I realize that I didn't take enough clothes, I feel cold, then I'll make it back home, but I will not enjoy this run. And also the opposite, if I put too much of clothes on me and then it's too hot, then I automatically slow down and I don't enjoy it again. And also when you overheat and you get wet, you get your clothes wet,
In this case, the clothes, they lose their function in a way that you can still be with the best merino, and then you can be with down jacket, whatever. All these things, when they are wet, they just don't work. In this way, I'm staying within my comfort zone. I know comfort zone is so overused. It's the most like misunderstood conception. You know this cliche, you should get out of your comfort zone. I kind of disagree with this. Of course, for some people, comfort zone, to get out of the comfort zone is to get out the door, or to get out of the couch. For some people, is to run 50 kilometers instead of 20. So for everyone is different, but in a general rule, I think people should not get out of their comfort zone. What I mean by this is, I can go for 50 kilometers today, and if I'm not with the appropriate clothing, I will feel miserable, but I can still do it. But it's gonna be so painful. I will not enjoy anything of this run. And then if I do this too often, then I tend to collect negative emotions from my outdoor activities, and in the long run this will set some boundaries in my brain to tell me every time before I go for a run, hey, you're going to suffer, don't do that. And I think this is a recipe for failure. If you want to burn out and to not run many years, go hard, exhaust yourself every time, suffer, feel cold, wet. So what I'm trying to do is to stay within my comfort zone. Of course, I have to feel cold sometimes, but not too much. I don't run beyond my capacity. Of course, I have to push because I have to train hard, but I'm always trying to feel comfort, to feel pleasure of the run. And I think this is what makes me love running and run for, it's I think been 6 or 7 years now, and I still love running, and I cannot wait to go for a run because my brain associates this as a fun and nice activity. I can't explain enough how excited I am every time to put the earphones and to listen to a podcast or an audiobook or music and just head to the woods. Then running feels so effortless. That time spent feels so precious, so valuable, because first I'm doing sport, it's healthy. Second, I'm listening to a podcast or audiobook and I learn something, or I just meditate with a nice music. I think people should know their boundaries and not make the mistake to be overexcited in the beginning and push too hard. They sign up for a gym or for some class, and then they start pushing to the limit every day, and after 2 weeks they don't want to do that. You know, their brain clicks something and says, hey, don't suffer anymore, I don't like it, stay home, and then they quit. I think we should not get out of the comfort zone, but rather to expand the boundaries of the comfort zone. Which means if for someone running 3 kilometers is their comfort zone, run 3 kilometers. You have nothing to prove by running 10 kilometers now. Then next time you run 3.5 kilometers, you still feel good. In a good day like this, I take my drone. It's in this big backpack. It's about minus 20 degrees Celsius. So I have to fly the drone and somehow film myself. So if you have ever worked filming with a drone in this cold, you probably gonna know what I have just experienced. Work with the drone, unfortunately, I cannot use these thick gloves. I have to take them off, and I have these tiny gloves. So what happened is, after 5 minutes of flying the drone, my fingers freeze. I lose the blood circulation in my fingers, and I have to stop at some point. Then I put my hands into these warm, thick gloves to warm them up. So, restoring the blood circulation causes pain. Only those who have experienced this can understand what I'm talking about. As for me, this is the hardest pain I have ever experienced in my life. I don't mean to complain. Probably I have different limits of pain resistance, but I cannot explain you well enough how much I dislike this moment, because I know when exactly the pain is gonna come. It's gonna come about 2 minutes after I warm up my hands. Oof, sorry, because my mouth is frozen and I cannot really talk properly. So, and then I warm up my hands, and then the pain is coming. I know it's gonna take about 5 minutes of pain. This is the time that my fingers need to restore the blood circulation. I don't know for what physical, biological reason it hurts, but it hurts so badly. I just went through this pain, I couldn't even film this. Now it feels much better.
It is the first day of February and it's totally new world outside. The sun is back and it's so bright. It is still minus 15 degrees Celsius, but it's already so different. Oh, look at that, I can see the sun.
By exploring my boundaries, I felt there is so much I can take out of myself. I realized that some things either have been put to sleep in my being, or they have never been awakened. With the time, endurance and moving have become an addiction. I started looking for different places to run, different terrain, landscape, forests, fells, frozen rivers and lakes, daytime and nighttime, in the harsh Arctic environment. Running on my own is my only way to connect my sensations to nature. I can empty my head from what is not important. I can rewild myself and be fully present at that moment. Only then I could realize how lucky I am to be alive, to be able to run and breathe.
Okay, done.